Hola, once again. It is your favorite art teacher, second favorite art teacher, last favorite art teacher, however I rank in your art teacheredness. But I'm here again. And I'm bringing you yet another project that I hope you guys enjoy and you want to do along with me. So we are trying to get some color into our lives once again. And so let's do it, shall we? I have found a little drawing that I thought was kind of neat. And this time of year, our yards are covered in all kinds of weeds. Just dandelions popping up everywhere. My yard is starting to get those dreaded sand spurs where you can't go outside in your bare feet right now, or you're just going to be yelping in pain. Yeah, those are amazing. And so we all know that dandelions turn into those cute little dandelion fluffs. Aren't they like the cutest thing? You just pick them up and blow and make a wish. I knew if I brought one in the house to show you guys, my daughter would get it. I could show you. But I think those are just some of the cutest things. So we're going to draw one of those today. And they're actually really simple to draw. And since they're all white, and we've been drawing on white paper, whatever white paper we have lying around, we are going to add some color to it. Of course, we love adding color to our lives. I'm quite the colorful person, if you haven't noticed. So, this is what our finished product looks like. We've got a dandelion drawn in the center there. And for the tips, I have added a plethora of colors, all the rainbows. And then for the background, just really, really lightly, I have colored it. Now, I've done mine in black Sharpie. And then I colored it using colored pencils. I hadn't done any drawings yet using a whole lot of colored pencils, so that's what I chose to do it in. Because we can kind of control how light and how hard we press with them. Of course, if you don't have colored pencils, you can use crayons. And truthfully, you could do the little colored dots in. Hold on, my brain is working. Let me get my brain juice going. You could still do these in crayon, and if you are someone that happens to have like watercolor paints at home, I'm not sure how many of you folks at home do. A lot of my students probably didn't take stuff like that home or just have it lying around. That's okay, guys. I got you. That's why I didn't do this in watercolor. But if you wanted to do the dots in some crayons and then paint the background in a watercolor, the fun thing is that is called a resist. For those of you that do not know that term already, most of my students should. I have taught it to you. That just means your paint is going to be resisted by the crayon and it's going to go around it or over it. So our crayon is still going to show up nice and bright, and you're going to be left with a really nice watercolor background. But as I said, most of my friends probably don't have that at home. I'm trying to do what I can to keep everything really, really simple here for you guys. So let's get started with this little drawing, shall we? Instead of me talking, because once I talk, I'm not sure if you have noticed, I don't necessarily stop talking. My apologies that you listened to me ramble on. See, you can see the transition in my videos. At first they were kind of awkward because I was teaching to an audience out there that I couldn't see, and I'm used to teaching to all of my students. This is what I do for all my students. I just talk and talk. Those poor kids. All right, so we are going to... Hey, Lori, will you let the dog in? Thank you. Sorry. Life goes on. All right, we're going to start with a basic circle in the center. Again, if you don't have a Sharpie, that's not a big deal. Just use whatever you have, but something dark. You're going to want this to be black. So if you're using a regular marker, if you're using a black colored pencil, that is totally fine. If you're using a crayon, but The marker is going to work best, so if you can find one, please use it, and find one that is going to be darker. If you're not finding your black marker, find one that's darker, because what I'm going to do is just kind of make these little strokes, and you'll see in just 1 second, and that's going to be a little bit more effective. So I'm going to make my circle in the center and just kind of color that in there. Just a little circle, and you can see that looking down. That's not a big deal. And then I'm going to start going around my paper with just these little tick marks. And I'm just kind of flicking my wrist as I go out from the circle. That's literally all I'm doing, just throwing my wrist out there. And it makes them all kind of uneven. Try to make sure you don't go off your paper if you're using a Sharpie. But you're going to get, if you rotate your paper, it's going to be more even. You don't want to keep it in one spot until you come back around. And so it's almost got this spiral pattern because you just kept spinning it around. Okay. And then pick a spot for you to draw your stem. And you got the start of a dandelion. Isn't that lovely? I thought it was quite nice. Now again, pick your crayons, pick your colored pencils. I chose colored pencils because I hadn't used them for some of my projects. But if you're someone, like I said, you want to do the watercolors, you're going to want to choose the crayons so that you can watercolor over it. So I'm just going to start with any random color, and I'm just going to pick one little nodule, and I'm going to just start randomly going around, spacing out all your colors so they're not next to each other. And as you kind of finish up, you can go back and add more of a color if you want, especially if it's one of your favorite colors, and do something like that. So I'm just randomly placing my colors all around. See, I gotta be careful of my table because I'm not sure. I'm sure you've seen it in some of my other videos with these crisscrosses on here are a total pain in my butt. And they interrupt some of my drawings. Something got really quiet in my living room. Really quiet. And any of you that are parents know it's time to be suspect. Oh, I hear her upstairs. She's above me. So here we go, just moving around until it's all filled up. Now I'm going to do what I like to do with my kids, and that's pretend Mrs. Mims has finished this so you don't sit and get bored watching me. Or pretend I've gone all the way around. Now what I did to finish mine, I don't know if you could see how well I got some color in there, because again, it's not the greatest day for light. Normally it is. I started in the middle, and I took my colored pencil, and very lightly, I just kind of started coloring in the center to give it some color, and just started going out and around. I started with yellow, even though that's not my Roy G. Biv pattern, my rainbow pattern. My rainbow pattern would start with R being red. I wanted some sunshine yellow to kind of highlight it. And I did a reverse Roy G. Biv. I started with yellow, then I went out to orange, then red. And then your rainbow would start all over again from violet. So violet met my red. And then I'm bringing in my orange next, just really lightly coloring it in, bringing it in slightly to meet my yellow. And this is what I did for my background. So I gave it almost like a tie-dye effect all the way around till I met the edge of my paper. And that's just kind of what I'm doing to create that. Let's see, there you go. So again, using whatever, and that's going to work the exact same way if you are using crayons to do your background as well. So if you don't have paints, like I said, guys, don't worry. We use whatever we have got on hand, and we make art. And that is what artists have been doing for years and years and years since the beginning of time. And until later, when we do some more art and use whatever we have, I will see you guys later. If you like what we have made today, or if you want to see me do something different, or if you even have a way to improve it, please feel free to share that with me. Don't be afraid. I don't mind criticisms. And but be kind, because this is for kids. Please leave a comment down below. And you can also follow me at Mrs. Mims1 on Twitter. And I'll see you there. Let's socialize. Let's talk. And then we will do another drawing at another time. Until then, stay safe, guys.